Hey there, everybody. How you doing today? Recording the video here. Phil Dillard talking about recording the video here. Phil Dillard talking about Throughline Networks and the Throughline Impact Venture Studio. Really looking forward to being part of this program. Let me tell you a little bit about my story, about why we're working on putting together a venture fund, and why we really like this program. We've known this organization for a number of years. I've been around and supported different folks who are in Founders Institute, and also know a couple of folks who've been through the venture fund program. So I'm quite familiar with the team and the great work that's being done. So really interested in being part of this for a number of reasons. Our objectives for Throughline Networks is to build impact unicorns. That's our thing. We want to do, and we are already working with mission-driven companies that are addressing UN Sustainable Development Goals that deliver both financial and impact returns for large, scalable solutions on the planet. Our objective is to, when we started this out, we wanted to understand what an impact unicorn was, what type of things we wanted to be able to do, how to move the needle on mission-driven entrepreneurship, and how to do that in such a way that's really impactful, but also creating a movement towards the economy that we seek to have in the future. One that's focused on more on impact and financial returns as opposed to just returns to shareholders. And we know that there needs to be a lot of work done in this area. Our contribution, our objective is to find a way to help build and grow 100 impact unicorns. And those are mission-driven companies solving UN Sustainable Development Goals valued at over $1 billion. Now, through a ton of experience in startups, I've been a serial entrepreneur several times over, executive a couple of startups, founded a couple of startups, helped launch incubators, accelerators, worked for years in lean startup, lean innovation, and in a number of different ways, both with the lead startup company with Derek Rees and BM&T and Steve Blank, and at helping run courses at Stanford and Cal and do workshops globally. Really learned a lot about global entrepreneurship. What I've found is the importance of focusing on a problem, the importance of capturing your unique set of skills and expertise and pulling them together on a multi-dimensional, multi-generational team, so we really understand problems deeply, both in the local, regional, and national or global levels, so that we can understand things, have the potential to scale and have real impact in the way that they go to business and that go to market. And that's what we want to do. We also learned that there are a number of ways. I studied a number of different ways to get there, whether it was through venture funds or private equity or through family offices and donor advised funds or opportunity zone funds and on and on and on, to figure out really how to put these sort of things together. Our strategy is to have a not traditional impact venture studio, because look, I don't have a rich uncle. I don't come from a wealthy family. I don't have a couple major exits. I started my career as a military officer. I learned after a number of years after business school that I wasn't a big corporate guy. And then I was trying to find my way and my space into doing startups that were related to me and doing things that are our way. I figured that out. I built a team around me to figure that out. I have incredible connections and networks and resources. We feel like we've built ourselves a Formula One Ferrari to get into this race. And what we need is gas in the tank and a strategy to kind of compete in this thing over the long term. And this is why we're here. We want to be around other people who are not only doing impact focused, sustainability focused, and I rarely use sustainability. I talk about regenerative solutions that are building impact unicorns, not ESG, not sustainability. We're kind of move a bit beyond the basics of that. So what we're talking about is building a fund that supports the studio. And there's two objectives really in the studio as we describe it. The first is to understand the key problems that we're looking at that we can address. And our primary areas right now of focus where we have active clients are regenerative agriculture, ocean permaculture, waste to value, some other general climate tech, and enabling technologies that support that sort of tech. Because we're not a vertical focused fund, we're not a horizontal focused fund. We are a problem focused, solution focused fund, primarily going after big game changing global solutions to problems that we've selected. The companies that we list that we've already identified as part of Throughline Networks are companies that are doing that. We will have a wet close on this fund starting with the existing 3 clients that we've got and adding more and more along the way, because we've already built the flywheels through multiple channels that bring us these types of companies. We have a waste of value company that's going into its bridge round, into its Series A. We have another this is a waste of value wood to biochar veteran-led company. There's another company that is a waste of value waste plastic to building materials company. There's another that is a global solution for ocean permaculture, rebuilding kelp forest in the ocean. And each of these has a technical component, a technology component, and an impact component, and multiple revenue streams in the business model that allows us to confidently project these to be really big, scalable solutions for which we invest in our fund. And this is just the beginning. In Throughline Networks, we have already built our media engine and our thought leadership community that's drawing to us more and more experts and practitioners and people who want to work with us and support us. In the advisory services that we're working on with family offices in particular, we're exploring how to get their capital to support this mission, and to be very clear on how they measure impact, how they put charitable tax advantage and direct investment dollars to work, and how we might co-invest with us, how they might co-invest with us alongside some of these solutions. And we've got major progress going forward there. On the access to capital side, this is where we choose to add the fund. For some of the projects, for some of the clients that I talked about, we're already launching point-specific opportunity zone funds to work with the investors that we've already got to help get those companies out of the gate and be doing things in a very specific way that delivers impact to the companies that we're trying to get after. But the purpose of this venture fund is to be able to put our investment in early on in these companies, because our target is a late seed to Series B company. We want to be able to be on the same side of the table of the company themselves. We want to be able to invest our time and our capital into them and be long-term partners and use our extensive network, resource, thought leadership, and global connections to accelerate these companies into the markets where they should be. And right now, today, with bootstrapped, cobbled together work over the past couple of years, we have projects on every continent of the planet that we're very confident about and that we have lots of people looking at and supporting. So again, the reason we want to build this fund, we believe that the first start of the fund is a $25 to $50 million fund. And when we see the right amount of traction, we'll scale it up a little bit as we can do. For the team, yes, it is a first-time fund for this purpose for us. And for me in particular, my business partner, though, is 30 years in investment banking, has run multiple different types of funds and venture funds and startups as well. And our advisory board and our advisory team has pretty extensive. Some people known extremely well by the folks at Founder Institute, because you've seen us around the Global Technology Symposium, and those guys have been advocating and encouraging me to do this literally for years. So I have a rock star group of successful venture capitalists, startup studio execs, incubator accelerator execs, and on and on and on, and corporate innovators and lean innovators that just will be a star-studded list of advisors to this sort of group. And we've already got those sort of folks lined up. So what do we want to do? We want to build this fund in a very smart way. We want to have a multi-generationally diverse, multi-ethnically and racially diverse team that is really smart and really thoughtful and buys into this mission of what we need to do. And we're going to do innovations along the way in the subsequent funds after this first one that help us provide the right incentives for the right types of companies. So we have stage-specific capital and capital innovations that ensure the returns on this fund, but also ensure that the companies themselves are moving at the right pace. And we want to work on this with this great cohort of people with a great global expertise brought by this team, and really make something special happen in 2023. So we look forward to being part of this cohort. We really enjoyed being being able to attend where I could for the get to know you, because in 10 minutes we saw 5 to 10 other I would say compatriots, right? People who are doing similar things where we can help each other out and lift each other up and not feel like there is some sort of competition for scarce assets, because I don't think there really are. I think there is a ton of capital and a ton of intent. I don't think there are enough pathways for the types of companies that need to be successful in making the impact that we're trying to do in terms of climate, in terms of equity, in terms of valuing the changing the goalposts and the metrics of success in a way that we really need to for the future of humanity on the planet. Um, we need a lot more movement in that direction. And this is a first step in the right direction. So I look forward to meeting all of you and working with you. And I look forward to answering any questions that you've got. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you all soon.